Hi YouTube. It's been a long time, no see. It's been around 8 months since I made my last video and a lot has changed since then. As you can probably see, I've lost 50 pounds. I don't know if you can tell by my face. Yeah, I've lost 50 pounds and I recently started running. And for those of you that don't know, I used to look like this and I couldn't even run a mile. And now I look like this and I can run a decent amount without stopping. So in my first video back on YouTube, what I wanted to talk about was the very thing that helped me make some of these changes, and that is discipline. Discipline is kind of one of those things that I think a lot of people, myself included, misunderstand. I think it's a common conception that discipline is a character trait. It's either something you have or something you don't have. You're either David Goggins or you're not. But discipline is not a trait. It is a skill that you build over time. What helped me understand discipline better is thinking about it like this. So discipline is to hold yourself to a certain standard. And that standard is set by how we view ourselves, which is self-confidence. And by definition, self-confidence is the feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. So discipline is a standard set by self-confidence, which is based on trust. And if you take all that stuff out in the middle, discipline is trust. So, trust. When you meet someone initially, you might not trust them because you don't know them. But over time, that person can prove themselves trustworthy through their actions. It works the same way with self-trust. Right now, you might be in a state where you don't necessarily trust yourself to do things that you want to do, aka not having discipline. You might not feel that you can run a marathon at the moment, or go to the gym, or stick to a diet, or wake up early, or whatever, because you don't trust yourself to do those things. You know yourself. And that's kind of where I was 6 months ago. However, you can build upon this trust by keeping the promises you make to yourself. Each time that you make a promise to yourself, which it can be anything, like, I'm going to wake up earlier today, or I'm going to make my bed as soon as I wake up, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to eat a little cleaner today. Each time you make a promise to yourself and you keep that promise, you build a little discipline. You sort of like add a brick to the wall. But at the same time, every time that you break that promise, let's say you go to the gym and that day you don't go to the gym and you make plans to do something and you don't do that, you take a brick away from the wall. Your discipline is this wall of bricks, or the lack of bricks on a wall. You take away enough bricks from the wall and you don't have any discipline and you don't have any trust or self-confidence in yourself. And when you get to this point where you don't have anything, it can be very difficult to come back from. That's where I was 6 months ago. I didn't have any trust in myself. I didn't have any discipline. I would set alarms to wake up in the morning, and then right after setting them, I would turn them off because I knew I wasn't going to wake up for them. And it got to this point where I had just had no self-confidence and I just didn't like the way I viewed myself. But it's not impossible to come back from that. You see, we can build trust in ourselves the same way that we build trust with others, which is very, very slowly through repeated actions. We build that trust by doing the things that we have to do to reach our goals, even when it's not what we want to do. For example, if you wanted to run a marathon, you wouldn't start off with a 20-mile run. That's just not realistic. You're not going to reach that goal. Even if you did reach that goal, it's not sustainable and you're eventually going to give up on that. So instead, you would start with something small, like a mile run or a 10-minute run. Something that you know that you can achieve. And so that next time when it comes to your run, your mind knows that you can at least do 10 minutes. And you do this over and over and over again until that 10 minutes turns into 20 minutes, and the 20 minutes turns into 30, and eventually 30 minutes turns into an hour, and now you can run an hour straight. By building yourself up over time with small little wins, you eventually build yourself like a nice little stack of discipline. So, sounds easy enough, but the truth is, it's not. Especially in the start. At the beginning, you're not going to have the results to justify the efforts. When you first start running, it's going to be weeks before you feel like you're getting any better at running. And when you first start dieting, it's going to be weeks before you actually see any changes. But I'm telling you from experience, it gets easier. That self-confidence that you build in yourself, that discipline you build in yourself, it gets easier to hold yourself to that standard. I promise you there still will be days where it is very difficult. It is very difficult to still eat clean. It is very difficult to go out and run. Those days are where it matters most, because that is where you can build the most discipline, where you think back to those days where you just don't feel like running, you don't feel like sticking to your diet, but you still do it anyways. those are the days where you actually build that self-confidence. It's how I lost 50 pounds. It's how I've started running. And it's how I'm going to approach this YouTube channel. Talking to camera is very, very uncomfortable to me. It's very foreign to me. I am a very introverted person and I don't like putting myself out there. But this is something that I want for myself and something that I'm very interested in. So I'm going to start small. I'm going to start small by making videos like this, even if they are not the most perfect videos ever. I promise you this is like the 6th or 7th time I've tried recording this video, but every time I either record it and I don't like the way it comes out, or I get to post-production and editing and I just don't like how it is. I end up scrapping it. Coming into this new year, I'm going to challenge myself to make as many videos as I can. I think that a daily vlog is a bit too ambitious. Like I said, you got to start small. I think setting myself up to record a daily vlog is just setting myself up for failure because I just know I can't achieve that goal. So it's going to start at a video as much as I can. Whether that is 1 week or 2 weeks, I don't know yet. But I'm still trying to find my creative style and get comfortable talking to the camera. So if you like this video or if you have any feedback for me, please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.